Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. Oh, it is time to finish up this moped. It has been on the back burner for quite a while. I've rebuilt the engine. I made a video about that. I have not fired it up yet. I have just put stuff back together. I'm not sure I've filmed all that. I haven't filmed all of that, but I would like to take you on the last, hopefully the last step of this journey. I need to put the chain on, I need to put the lighting on, and then I need to fire it up and see if it works. And if it works, then I need to take it for a test drive. So that's awesome. But let's get the chain on to begin with. Yeah. And then the chain cover goes on something like this. So I still need to fix the front light because I'm actually missing the internal bits for that. But it's ready now for the first test of the engine. But before that, I better fill in some oil, but I will wait until the morning because it's completely dark outside. And it would be a bit more fun to start it up in daylight. So tomorrow, oil is going in, and then we're going to test this NSU Quickly. Let's go ahead and fill in some oil. It is now light outside. Now let's see. Wait, that was a gear. So after that first test drive, it didn't really run right. It had a hard time pulling itself. It was going all right downhill, but not more than that. I was suspecting ignition timing issues because I hadn't really checked that. I just put it back on the same way that it was before, and that's not always correct, of course. So I wanted to check that and did that. This tool will help me set the timing. What it does is I screw it in instead of the spark plug, and when the piston comes up, it will push on this. Not when it's tight, but then it will push on this. And this will go up and down again. But if I tighten up this a little bit, it will go up and then don't come down again. So that will give me a pretty close indication of top dead center. If you want it completely precise, actually it would be better to screw it down a little bit so the piston actually hit. Then make a mark on the flywheel and the casing, then turn the engine the other way around until it hits, then make a mark once again on the flywheel, and then in between those two marks will be top dead center. But I'm just going to do it the other way. It will be just fine, in my opinion at least. So I'm going to screw this all the way down. Then I'm going to zero this one out like that. And I'm going to tighten up this a little bit. Then I'm going to spin the engine counterclockwise. That's the way it's going to turn. And then it hits. I'm just going to push that one down. Turn anti-clockwise until it hits right there. And this is the point that it doesn't go any higher, so that's pretty close to top dead center. Then I'm going to check if the points gap is actually correct. It's supposed to be 0.30 at this point. And it is that exactly, so I did set them correctly when I put it back together. Next up, this engine is supposed to fire at around 2.5 millimeters before top dead center. Before moving the flywheel any further, it's important to tighten up this, otherwise it will just drop down again. So with this pretty tight, I can spin this out of or lower the piston so it doesn't foul the tool. The next step is to spin this around like this, because we want to lower this by 2.5 millimeters to find 2.5 millimeters before top dead center. That's 1, that's 2, and then 5 is right about there. Boop. Then we're going to go ahead once again and spin the engine counterclockwise until we hit it right there. As you can see, top dead center is over here, and this is the mark we made before. So now we're going to make a new mark right here, which we want to be the actual firing mark for the engine. So there are several ways to actually go about this. You could adjust the stator plate in there so that the points open at this point by putting some paper in or something very thin, and then move it. And then you want it to let go of the paper when it hits this point. I'm going to do it a bit differently because I can, and it's quite fun. And that is to firstly remove the tool, then take a car battery and a timing gun, put the clamps on the correct ones, and put this one onto the spark lead. Make sure it's the right direction, like that. Then we're going to install the spark plug also, because we want it to spark. So we're going to ground that out up here. So now, if we take a drill and spin the engine, then you can see it flashes. And then I'm going to try to bring you in a bit closer, because it's pretty important. It's very important to watch this from the exact right angle. Otherwise it will look off even though it isn't. So this is the best I think I can get you guys. But we want those two marks to line up. I don't know if you can see it, but it is really close to actually lining up. Amazingly close. So I'm just going to alter it a bit to make it perfect. But I can already tell you now that this was not the issue. So it's got to be fuel related. Now we know that this is perfect. What about this? Let's check that. Oh yeah, bang on. Pretty much. It's pretty much bang on now. So this should be good enough now, but it was so close to being correct already. So I really doubt that this was the issue. I can't test it right now because it's completely dark outside and I still need to fix the lighting. But I'm sure this was not the problem. So a pretty complicated way to check your ignition, but it's it's a fun way in my opinion. But as it turned out, it didn't really need a lot of adjustment, and it was not the main problem at all. But now it's perfect at least. I have come to the conclusion that the jettings are off, or the jetting is off. I tried to enlarge in the jet that is in there, but I went too far, unfortunately, so now it gets way too much fuel. So I'm waiting on a set of new nozzles, jets, and then hopefully I can jet it into the correct amount and make this work nicely. But that will be in the next video because I will have to wait on those jets. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one.